Ahoy there mates, I'm here today, and today we are playing Henchman's Story. This is issue 2, though technically we are in issue 3. So, if you want to catch up with the series, I have a YouTube link. I have a YouTube channel, it should be on there. So if you click on the channel, you should be able to see the first live stream. Speaking of which, I need to set a timer before I forget. Alright, timer is more or less ready to go. I'll start once I start actually getting into the game and stuff. So let's do that real quick.
Open what?
Alright. So, the reason I'm doing this a little bit early, I did this game last week, so it should still be on my Twitch channel, but I'm not entirely certain. Anyways, I will try to upload both my Dungeons and Dragons video as the one that I just did yesterday, and this one this coming Sunday. I'm just gonna be out of town this Saturday. That's the main reason I'm doing it early. So you guys getting a little bit of an early live stream from me, because I was planning just to delay this till Saturday, but something came up on my end. So anyway, enough chit chat. Let's get into it.
The doors. I mean, how else are you going to show me the rooms?
The rooms? Oh no, I can't do that.
Is this because I made fun of the hallway?
No, seriously, I actually can't do that.
Oh, come on. I promise I won't tell on you. Just a little bitty peek.
You don't understand. I literally can't go through any of these doors. I just guard them.
Oh. Wait, seriously? You guard doors that you can't enter.
Yeah, that's standard henchman procedure. We don't get to know the big plans or anything. Cogs in the machine and all that.
Sorry about that, folks. As usual, help someone out with something real quick.
It's actually a security thing, too. You know, in case some guy in a cape dangles us over the edge of a building and gets us to talk. Or if they disguise themselves as a henchman and trick us into opening the door.
No way! People actually try that?
People don't just try it, it worked. It was like one of the go-to moves in the 80s. That's why the rules got made. Do the other villains on the Henchman app not follow the secret lair patrol regulations?
Well, I actually didn't do much patrol, so...
Seriously? I mean, if you got some specialized skills, you can get a lot less. Never? You've got to be the luckiest henchman alive.
Yeah, I guess. So, is that your job here? You guard this hallway?
Nah, just Tuesdays, thankfully. As much as I love my door, I don't think I could watch it 24/7. Come on, I'll introduce you.
Eventually, we arrive at the door. 1385. As I gesture towards the dramatic flare of the number slab.
Kate, meet door 1385. Inanimate object extraordinaire in my ward every Tuesday from 9 to 5.
Nice to meet it. And you have no idea what's in this room.
Nope, and you won't either. This bad boy requires level 4 security clearance to get through, one of only a dozen in the whole base. It's very important. You should be impressed.
I'd be more impressed if I knew what was behind it.
No idea, but it's a big deal. So probably Lord Bedlam's snow globe collection. Or a super weapon. It's a toss-up.
I see. So, what was that about college earlier? Did you graduate?
Yep, Richardson State. Go fighting... whatever we were called.
I take it you weren't the captain of the football team.
Are you doubting my athleticism? I'll have you know that I have the agility of at least, like, 2 whole panthers.
Right, you just choose not to use it.
Hey, work smarter, not harder.
Alright, smart guy. What were you doing in college then?
Majoring in history. So basically I joined a very expensive non-fiction book club.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with books. I actually really like reading, though I'm usually into fiction and literature myself. For a while, I was buying so many that I feel like I had to get a new bookcase every few months.
Wow, you have a place with your own furniture? I guess I figured this Henchman thing would mean you were drifting from lair to lair.
Oh, no, I meant my old place. Back in college, I majored in mechanical engineering, but I read a lot. I even tried to write a little on my own.
Really? You wrote stories? Did you finish any?
Oh, yes, but... Shit. I didn't mean to tell you that.
Uh-oh, someone's a little embarrassed about their Professor Anomaly fanfiction.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with fanfic. Can we talk about something else?
Oh man, she is genuinely embarrassed by this, by the looks of those rosy cheeks. I should probably stop, but I've got such an... I think it's cool.
Hey, relax. I'm just teasing. I actually think it's cool. What kind of story were you working on?
Just a sci-fi thing, nothing crazy. I called it The Lost Princess of Europa. I started it as a political thriller, then it turned into a space opera, then a romance, then basically just crashed into the sun. It was not meant to be. Oh god, why did I tell you that? Just forget I brought it up, okay?
Hey, don't worry about it. It's gutsy that you try something out of your wheelhouse like that. I mean, I could never try the whole science thing, or math. If I see too many numbers, they just start to blend together into one big confusion smoothie.
Come on, you can't be that bad.
Totally can. I drew a mean graph, though. The wrong graph, but you know, it looked real nice.
If it's any consolation, my stories really weren't much better. When I was writing them, I thought they were just so good, but when I go back to read them... Yeah, let's just say I'm definitely a science girl. I still love to read, I just won't be writing the next Professor Anomaly.
Well, you're in good company, because I can't write for shit either. Well, good being relative, I guess.
No kidding. You can't write, you suck at math. What can you do?
Get punched in the face, mostly. I'm a bona fide stud in the field of meat shieldery.
I don't doubt it. Can't exactly put that on a resume, though.
I got everything set up, right? Okay. Alright, I should probably get on with the tour now. Kinda lost track of time there. Game room.
Okay, I think we've seen all there is to see here. Let's hit the game room.
Sounds good. Lead the way.
The game room's location isn't exactly intuitive. It's not near any of the other break areas or gathering places, not even the living quarters. Instead, it's a nondescript hallway tucked between some storage rooms. You know, not gonna lie, this room looks amazing. This looks like fun den. Hold on. Are a couple people playing Dungeons and Dragons here? Or are they just rolling dice just for gambling? Hold on. What does that say? Do not water, I am dead? Well, that's morbid. Get a better plant. And some sunlight. Or at least get a plant that doesn't require a lot of sun. In fact, we fairly certainly that it's what Lord Bedlam intended to use it for. Because when we discovered it, there was some steel shelves, some empty crates inside. After a bit of cleaning up, voila! We ourselves a game room. Not exactly one of those hipster gaming bars, though it could have a couple of functional arcade machines, but it works for us. As a bonus, there's an emergency exit hidden behind one of the arcade machines. There are a few of those scattered around the lair in case of a power outage, but it's nice to have a secret one up our sleeve.
So this is the game room, huh?
Yep, our pride and joy. There's a couple of game consoles hooked up to that TV over in that corner, a snack machine over there, and the crown jewel in the middle, the big damn table.
Well, it is definitely big. But, what's with all the dice on it?
Oh, they're 10-sided. We use them for spells and swords every other Friday.
Ah! I was right! Kind of!
You guys play SNS? I gotta say, I never would have guessed that.
I know, I'm even nerdier than I look. But it gets even better. I don't just play, I run the whole campaign. Admit it, you're impressed.
Oh yeah, I'm dazzled. Starstruck even. So I guess we ran out of important things to see already, and you decided that you might as well show me your nerdy hobbies? Is that it?
What, you're not impressed by the big damn table? We all chipped in a little for that bad boy, you know. It was a real team effort.
You didn't just steal it? Not very villainous of you.
Maybe not, but it's certainly more practical. Have you ever tried to steal furniture before? We tried that one time. Emphasis on one time. Did not end well, let me tell you. And this was just one of those Swedish stores where the furniture comes in a little box.
Did you at least get some meatballs out of the deal?
Nope. One of my squad mates tried to raid the food court, but she got lost trying to get back to the rest of the group. Always wondered what happened to her. It was a big disaster, basically. Crimson Typhoon had his poster on the revenge wall for a good month.
The revenge wall? Sounds ominous.
No, it's where that poster of Shining Nova is. See?
I gestured towards a part of the wall where a poster is hanging riddled with darts. It looks like someone placed the Miss Dynamo poster with Shining Nova. And it already has a lot of use.
Oh, that's charming. in a way. You guys really don't like Shining Nova, huh?
Someone doesn't anyway. That definitely went up a little faster than normal. But then Nova did tear through us like paper mache.
Well, that's the closest most of these guys will ever get to laying a finger on Shining Nova. So they need to get their shots in where they can, I guess.
Yeah, you're telling me. I found that out firsthand. Still feeling that ass whooping, honestly.
Well, don't be too hard on yourself. Shining Nova's at the national level, and Lord Bedlam isn't even on most people's radars. You guys didn't stand a chance, honestly.
Hey, come on, we stood a little chance. Like, tiny bit. Non-zero, anyway.
Effectively zero. So, are any of those darts yours, by the way?
Me? Nah, that's not really my style. Lord Bedlam had a nemesis for a bit, and it just seemed exhausting. Also a little romantic. I don't know, man. Supervillains are weird.
Yeah, that's what I figured. You don't seem like that kind of guy.
Well, since it doesn't sound like you're that into the revenge wall either, why don't you join our SNS session tomorrow night? The only vengeance that might be enacted there is if Zack rolls 2 natural ones in a row and throws his dice in the trash.
That does sound mildly more sane. I'll think about it. No promises.
Sure, no pressure. But if you show, I promise it'll be fun. I swear on my poor lost squad mate and the meatballs they never got.
So, I'm curious. How did you end up here?
I was listening to Chill Beats to Wallow in Student Loan Debt 2 on YouTube, and one of his recruitment ads popped up. So I applied. Simple as that.
Seriously, Wait, are you for real? He put an ad online? On freaking HooTube?
Yep, it was a lot less annoying than the ads I'd usually get, if you can believe it. At least it wasn't an influencer filming themselves in vertical video mode.
That is... wow. I always wondered how the C-list guys recruited so many bodies, but I'd never have thought they'd be so... direct.
Ouch, C-list? Okay, big shot, how did you get recruited?
Definitely not like that. But seriously, I meant, why did you end up here?
I don't know, I just kinda did. Does it matter why?
It's just that you don't seem to have the, fervor of some of your peers. You haven't praised the almighty Lord Bedlam one time.
Hey, I like Lord Bedlam, don't get me wrong. He's a good boss, but that's just it. He's not my god or, oh, captain, my captain, or anything like that. He's just my boss.
So, what? This whole thing is about the money for you?
And the benefits. Don't forget the benefits.
But isn't the big money in the freelance stuff?
What, like a mercenary? No way, I wouldn't last doing that. I don't have the skills, or the testosterone.
Or the ruthlessness?
That either. Besides, there's something to be said for a steady paycheck and a roof over your head every night. Well, a mountain over your head. Same difference.
Is that really it? This isn't the only job with a paycheck, you know.
Jeez, aren't you curious? Am I really that interesting?
I just want to know, that's all. Why become a henchman?
Not everyone has a calling.
Honestly, it's like I said, I just did. I needed a job, and this was a job. Not everyone has the luxury of trying to do what they love. The world's full of people who just clock in and clock out. I guess I'm one of them.
It just seems a little odd to have that attitude about all this, is all.
Is it? I've got a uniform, I've got assignments, and I've got a boss. Seems like a normal job to me.
You're reaching. And you're forgetting the whole crime thing.
Hey, it's not like Lord Bedlam is out there murdering people. Rules are made to be broken, right?
And you're okay with all of it?
Well, I mean, not all of it. I could live without the hostage stuff. Look, the point is, there is no great big why to it. I didn't grow up dreaming to be a henchman, but that's fine with me.
If you say so. Just keep in mind that Lord Bedlam isn't your only boss anymore.
Oh, you're talking about Madam Scorpion? I guess you're right, but that's just temporary, isn't it?
Sure, but still, I wouldn't advertise that whole clock in, clock out thing with her, alright?
Really? She's that intense?
You have no idea.
The way she said that, there was something in her voice that I haven't found out about her yet. Foreboding. I frowned. Scorpion must be the real deal.
Thanks. I'll keep that in mind.
Wait. How long have we been standing here? Jeez, this girl really has a way to get me chatting. I don't think I have talked about why I became a henchman with... Who have I talked about it with?
All that's left to show is the cafeteria, which is great because I'm starving.
Alright, I expect a thrilling conclusion.
I'd promise that you won't be disappointed, but I'm an honest man. Come on, it's this way.
I take my time guiding Kate to the cafeteria, and I give her a chance to figure out a little bit of the layout. The base is pretty labyrinth. It always takes a new recruit a few weeks to figure it out. By taking our time, we managed to arrive after the big lunch rush. There's still some people hanging around, but the actual line is pretty short.
Here it is, Kate. Feast your eyes on our charmingly greasy cafeteria. Don't feast too much, though, or you might not be able to keep your lunch down.
That's good advice. Thanks.
Maybe don't look at the food too hard either. Or the chef. You know, maybe just don't look at anything.
Got it. Guess now I know why you didn't mention the free food as a reason for becoming a henchman.
Yeah, sometimes things are free for a reason, you know?
Fortunately, I've managed to put my smart mouth on pause before we reach the front of the line because both of Chef Antonio's chins await me there.
Well, if it ain't the man with the magic food tasting eyeballs.
Ah, crap, I nearly forgot about that. I sigh resignation. I don't know why he's being so pissy about a hot dish and casserole. Are really the same thing, aren't they?
Yep, that's me. But don't tell anyone. If the other guys found out I had a superpower, it'd ruin the whole social hierarchy. I'd just be so popular and beloved. I wouldn't be able to take it.
Oh, don't worry, your secret is safe with me. In fact, it would be a huge help if you'd lend me your services.
I raise a brow, curious, but highly Chef Antonio reaches beneath the counter that has red flags all over it. But when I see him pull out a plate of juicy, mouth-watering steak I've ever seen in my life, I admit that for a moment my stomach took over. My eyes go wide, and I had to stop myself from drooling. God, it's been so long since the last time I've eaten something like that.
Looks good, doesn't it? See, I was hoping you could do me the honor of a little taste test.
Of that? Yeah, sure. It'd be my pleasure.
Without thinking, I start reaching towards the plate, only for Antonio to abruptly pull it back.
You taste with your eyes, remember?
I feel like I've been shot in the stomach. Of course, that's what he meant.
Well, how's it taste? Good, right?
Great. But if I could just cut off a little piece?
Oh, no, that ruined the sanctity of the test. Can't have that now, can we?
Without ceremony, Antonio dumps the delectable plate of food straight into the garbage. I felt my heart shatter. This son of a bitch.
But thanks for the help, eyeballs. And since you don't taste with your mouth, I whipped up an extra special treat just for you.
In the plate of the feast that he drew away, Antonio plops a bowl of brown goo on my plate with a smile as I curl my nose. What the hell is this?
Just a little protein powder with gravy. I call it shithead stew. I think it's just perfect for you, don't you?
Yeah, just perfect.
I try my best to stand tall as I make my way to my seat, but it's hard to have pride when you carry around the nastiest meal ever made. As I plop down in my seat, Kate takes one look at my plate and recoils in disgust.
What exactly is that?
Food hell, that's what it is. I had the audacity to say that some of his food looked like the same thing with a different name, and, well, here we are.
You have my sympathies. You can also have some of my food, if you want.
I appreciate it, but I don't want to bring this curse down on anyone else. Chef Antonio has a good memory when it comes to faces.
Ah, I see. Guess I'll have to remember to not get in line with you after this, huh?
Probably for the best.
So anyway, I was...
Nope. You've had all day to ask questions. It's my turn now.
What? Since when did this tour come with a rulebook?
Since I made it up, basically.
Kate takes a moment to think it over. At first, I think she's messing with me, but as soon as I realize that she is serious, jeez. It's not like I'm asking for nuclear launch codes here.
Alright, one question, but I have the right to pass on anything that I don't want to answer. Got it?
Got it.
Hey, that's fair. You have the right to be lame if you want to. I'll judge you for it, but you can totally do it.
Judge all you want, but you just get the one. Better make it count.
We know she does some writing, or at least did. We don't know where she comes from. And I don't like us asking about Madam Scorpion. Oh boy. Just in case if there's a route there. I guess I'll go for the simple one.
So, do you have any hobbies? You know, stuff that you just do for fun. I know you don't write anymore, so that's one thing you don't do, at least.
Are we not counting reading?
No, I guess that counts. But I already know that. Hit me with something new.
I didn't realize this question came with fine print.
I'd hardly call it fine print. I mean, that's the point of a question, Kate, to learn something new. Seriously, though, you have to do some fun things.
I do. You just disqualify them.
And rightly so. Come on, just give me something else. Anything else.
Well, I like working out. and I practice martial arts a little, though I'm not very good at it.
Oh my god, what are you, some kind of monk?
What? What's that supposed to mean?
Because everything you do is, like, productive. No normal person is that productive.
I'm normal? I'm totally normal. I'm just Kate. Normal, ordinary Kate. Besides, don't you do combat training here?
Nope, not that it would be any fun if we did.
I feel like I should be surprised, but I just can't say that I am.
What? I don't look like a fearsome hand-to-hand combatant to you?
Pass. Sorry, you already used your one question.
Oh, that is cold. It's true, but it's cold.
Well, if you're ever so bored that you don't mind being productive, maybe I'll give you a few pointers.
I'll consider it. Still sounds like a lot of work, though.
You know, maybe it's not that I'm a monk. Maybe it's that you're lazy.
That is entirely possible, but I'm going to refuse to acknowledge it until I absolutely have to.
By chance, I glance at the clock. We still got some time before we have to meet back in the main hall, but we should probably swing by less important locations before then. At the very least, she needs to know where the lounge is. If we have another birthday and a rookie misses out the mini cupcakes, I'll never forgive myself.
Alright, because I am just so benevolent, I am going to count that as an answer.
I'm in awe of your mercy.
I get that a lot. Now come along, my henchman squire. We've still got a few places to see.
Easy with the squire thing, Sir Stanley.
Yeah, think I should reel it back?
Reel it way back.
Alright, consider it real.
What remains of the tour goes by quickly. We don't stop by any other places for too long, but we don't have to. Lord Bedlam's fortress is big, but seriously lacking in variety. A lot of the size of actually superficial too. There are a ton of rooms with no purpose. If you know where you're going, you could cover the important areas pretty quickly.
And so our whirlwind tour comes to an end. What do you think? Impressive?
I'm more impressed that you didn't get lost. This place is like a maze.
Not like a maze. It is a maze. Literally. If a superhero ever gave enough of a shit to come after us, they'd spend so long figuring out where to go that we could just leave them in the dust.
That's actually pretty smart. Nice move, Lord Bedlam.
Kind of. He technically didn't design the place. We got it in a liquidation sale a few years back. I think it was built by some Cold War era Soviet group. Not a big market for that these days. You think Madame Scorpion has an app for supervillain liquidation sales too?
Probably. I bet that's booming business. If a big name gets locked up, they must leave a lot of assets behind. I know that the lawyers are all over that. They love both sides of this hero-villain thing.
Think so? Or is this from personal experience?
Experience, I guess. I got in some trouble a while back. That's why I got scouted for Henchman. It targets people with legal issues or debt, or at least that's what I think. Can't really say for sure how it works. I'm just a recruit after all.
By now, most of the others have started to file into the main hall. The rookies and veterans are splitting back up into separate groups, and Cake seems to have noticed as well.
So, I guess I'll see you around?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that would be nice. Kate seems surprisingly good company. It was a good to play a few rounds of verbal ping pong, where the other player doesn't stare back lockjawed at the ball as it bounces past them. Bless Dave, his little heart. I know he tries, but some wit doesn't a man good every now and then. In fact,
Hey, do you know your lunch period yet?
I think so. Let me check.
she pulls out a pamphlet out of one of her belt pouches, and it's perfectly folded. Of course.
Second shift.
Crazy. That's mine too. Want to eat together? I promise I won't get you involved in my holy war with the chef.
Good. You seem like a decent guy, Stan, but I don't think I'm ready to starve for you.
Can't blame you for that. And hey, maybe by the time lunch is over, you'll know if you can stand my company long enough to join that S&S session. And if you want. Invitation's still open, is all I'm saying.
Still thinking about it, but sure. I'll let you know by then. Sound good?
Sure. Sounds good.
Great. So, guess I'll see you then.
Kate offers a wave and a smile before turning to leave. I follow suit, though to my own smile can't really match up against hers. When I rejoin my peers at the crowd of newcomers, but Kate has already disappeared from sight. That girl. There's something about her. It's not just that she's cute or that we got on so well. It's not even that she's a total newbie. There's something else to her that I can't quite place. It's bugging the hell out of me. 20 on she's Shiny Nova. Whatever it is, I'm not gonna figure it out right now. Lord Bedlam is gonna show up any minute and...
Welcome back, my loyal compatriots, and compatriots who aren't yet as loyal, but will be soon. I trust your glorious orientation went smoothly, and that our new recruits can now aid us in our even more glorious quest for still greater amounts of glory. But if you have any questions, feel free to contact Samantha and HR. A new workplace can take time to get used to. We're very understanding of that here. But when you do get used to it, I know that you all shall become invincible soldiers in our infinitely wonderful marathon of splendor.
Yep, like death and taxes. Lord Bedlam's daily rant is certainty. It's almost comforting. Almost. Woo! I managed to open my eyes just enough to see the clock. It's an hour before my alarm goes off. Some assholes knocking on my door. A whole hour of precious sacred sleep gone. Take it for its time. Okay, get another chuckle out of me. If I had the energy, I'm gonna rip whoever it is a new one. But since I don't, I just roll out of bed and waddle wearily towards the door.
Yeah, just a second.
I draw on a t-shirt on my way there, and when I arrive at the doorway, I slam my fist on the control panel with contempt. I should expect it have a bright smile that greets me, but that doesn't seem to stop me from grimacing at the sight.
Morning, Stan. Gosh, it sure took you a while to get up.
Took a while. Dave, we don't have assembly for like 1,000 years. Why are you even here?
Actually, Stan, that's the thing. You don't have assembly today. Here, this was at your door.
Dave hands me a small note. I rub the sleeping eyes. I rub the sleep from my eyes as I read it aloud.
Henchman number 065. In light of our administrative changes and our integration of the Henchcan program, you are scheduled to receive an in-depth review of your recent performance today. Arrive in room 243B no later than 8:30 a.m. Failure to comply will have dire consequences. Yikes, that seems a little over the top. Wait, if this was just posted here this morning, how did you know to come wake me up?
Oh, I didn't. Mine's not until tomorrow. But I figured there was a slight chance you might have an early review, so I just wanted to make sure you were ready anyway. Better safe than sorry, right?
That is unintentionally helpful.
Well, if mine had been tomorrow too, I'd probably be filled with a righteous, sleep-deprived fury right now, but since it's this morning, thanks for being so fortuitously helpful.
Sure thing. I am pretty fortuitous, huh? I should write that down. That'd be great to bring up in my own review tomorrow. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, glad I could help. Look, I'll see you later, okay? I need to clear my head before my review.
Oh, right. Of course. Gotta put your best foot forward and all that. I'll leave you to it.
As Dave leaves, I close the door and sigh in relief. That boy's just not anywhere there. Handling him takes more energy than I got this early in the day. I look longingly at my bed. Probably have enough time to squeeze a little bit more sleep, but since I'm already up, yeah, it's not worth risking it. Might as well just go ahead and hit the showers. After showering, changing, spending several long minutes trying to shave off the general senses of impending doom, I make my way to room 243B. While I've never been to that room specifically, the meetings in, I'm familiar enough with the area, and it's the layers as Sorry about that. Got texted. Anyways, so unless you work for HR, you generally don't have to be there too often. As I round the final corner, I spot my destination and just down the hallway, and it's a door wide
Okay,
open.
Stan, you got this. No sass, no back talk, just get it over with.
Well, this is fancier than I expected. Thought that the bar was at all that high. I mean, our break room couches hail from curbsides across America. So clearly, this isn't Lord Bedlam's doing. It looks very fancy. I guess the giant scorpion on the wall is pretty obvious, not to mention the room's so occupied. Well, no.
Henchman number 065. You're 3 minutes early. How unusually punctual of you.
Unusual? No, I'm Mr. Punctual. That's me. I just love being on time.
Not according to our records. Or your late departure from the scene of Wednesday's operation.
Oh, right. That thing. Thanks for the save, by the way. I wasn't looking forward to another beating from Miss Dynamo. I have a feeling she was gonna break something this time.
Think nothing of it. That child is like a barking dog. Loud, but stupid. Dealing with her was no trouble at all. So, if you'd like to thank me, be on time from now on. Will you?
Sure thing. Wait, by from now on, do you mean at other meetings with you? Because I sort of thought this was going to be a one-time thing. I mean, why would you want to meet with me? I'm just...
Have a seat, Stanley.
Yes, ma'am.
There are two couches in front of Madame Scorpion's desk. I quickly take a seat in one of them. For her part, Scorpion stays standing, preferring to slowly stalk around the room. I really wish she would stop. It's hard not to fidget with her looking at me like that.
Don't fret. This isn't about your punctuality. In fact, you're quite average in that regard. The henchmen here tend to be late in general. But you know that, don't you, Stanley? After all, you've been here for years, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. I'm what you might call a seasoned veteran. An experienced, loyal henchman or henchman-y. Henchmanist?
So you are. And how many promotions have you earned in your long and illustrious career?
Technically, you know, about, zero-ish?
Not ish, just zero. You have had 0 promotions.
Well, I mean, I've received some pretty good compliments every now and then. That's kind of the same thing, right?
No.
No. No, it is not.
This is gonna be a lot better if she asks questions. This is she doesn't already know the answers to. I can't prevent the fidgeting at this point, and the scorpion notice. She stops pacing, leans back against the desk in front of me.
Oh, Stanley, don't be so nervous. You're not in trouble. That's why we're having this meeting in my office.
And where would we be having it if I were in trouble?
Somewhere where I could be more persuasive.
Oh god. It's a good thing. It's a good thing I'm not. It's a good thing that if Alex Campbell was in this from my D&D campaign, he would be panicking. Alone in a room with a really nice looking lady, despite how evil she is. He would be panicking left, right, and center.
Oh, well, that sounds less fun. I think.
Certainly for you, Stanley.
Uh,
But then again, I have a feeling that you have quite the pain threshold.
What makes you say that?
Deductive reasoning. You've been a henchman in the Bedlam organization for over 5 years with no promotions, no arrests, and minimal injury leave. Barring promotion, the average henchman career is 8 months. Why do you think you've lasted so much longer?
Work smarter, not harder.
Well, you know, life's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And that means you've got to pace yourself.
I have no use for vague metaphors, Stanley. Be specific.
Damn! There goes my best bullshit thing tactic.
Okay, what I mean is, the thing about being a henchman is, we're not really supposed to beat the superheroes, right?
It happens every now and then.
Yeah, but not often. And when it does, usually we've got some crazy advantage. You can kind of see it coming. A lot of guys don't get that, though. They're always trying to win. Me, I know my role. I know what I'm up against. So maybe sometimes when I'm lying on the ground, seeing stars, and I know that getting back up isn't going to do any good, I just stay down.
Some might call that laziness. Even weakness.
By some, do you mean...
That depends on your reasoning.
I'd call it knowing my limits. I do what I can, and that's all I can do.
I squirm in my seat and avert my eyes. Shit. This was really the best I could come up with.
Interesting. That's more astute than you realize.
It is?
Only a fool fights a battle they cannot win. Yet that's what people are told to do. As if grinding yourself to dust trying to do the impossible is some noble and sacred pursuit. Some call it fighting spirit, others might call it grit. Whatever the name, though, it's a fantasy. Turning a defeat into a total loss for honor's sake is the height of folly.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. Just less eloquently.
Jeez, she really slips into all hope is dead thing quickly. I bet her monologues are off the charts.
Whether you were going for it or stumbled into it face first doesn't matter. You've grasped the concept.
I guess. Stumbling just doesn't sound as cool.
That's true. Keeping up appearances is important too. But that's an advanced concept. One that I have already mastered, as you can see.
Not that she's wrong, but sometimes I wonder, does a supervillain get a huge ego after becoming a supervillain? Or do some people with huge egos just become supervillains more frequently than others? As I ponder that chicken or the egg paradox, Scorpion stands and once again begins to stalk about the room. She doesn't seem upset with my answer, so I guess it's the whole predator-prey vibe just coming off her naturally.
Here's the point, Stanley, and do keep this in mind. The Scorpion Group has been observing this organization for months now. We know everything about it, including you. And with that knowledge, you are the first henchman I chose to speak to. Not your supervisor or Bedlam's other acolytes. You.
And you kept me from getting flattened at that data center. Thanks again, by the way.
Yes, I did. As I said, I was protecting my investment, which includes you, Stanley. However small your contribution. You see, Henchman is still in a closed beta, and that goes both ways. Not only are we selective with the organizations that can utilize the program, but the henchmen who can join it. To succeed on Henchcan, contractors need a certain mindset, a set of patterns and behaviors that will let them thrive and solidify the program's ecosystem. Based on the data, you may have that mindset, Stanley. But I can't know for sure without reviewing your performance in person. So let's return to that subject, shall we? In fact, let's speak of a specific performance. 2 days ago, you were part of an operation. Your squad was left in the rear guard. Do you recall what happened?
A very painful celebrity meet and greet.
Yes. Shining Nova is quite the famous superhero. And you two met face to face.
More like face to helmet, but yeah, we got acquainted. Kind of.
It's not very satisfying, is it? To meet someone who hides themselves so completely.
It's even less satisfying to get tranquilized by them.
I imagine. Fighting someone is so much more intimate when you can see their eyes. Their hatred, their fear, their pain.
I'm, usually on the opposite end of that last part.
That's too bad. Feeling pain is well and good, but you can't really appreciate it until you've given it too. You're really missing out, Stanley. But back to the matter at hand. You were the final member of the rear guard to engage Shining Nova during that operation, and you did so alone, after your colleagues had all rushed in at once or fled.
When you put it like that, I sound pretty stupid.
You certainly didn't have the odds in your favor. In fact, we did an exact calculation of your chances of success in that scenario. They were 600,000 to 1.
And now I sound really stupid.
If your goal was to succeed. But you weren't trying to succeed, were you, Stanley? Not in the traditional sense. Why don't we review your moment-to-moment decisions during this encounter?
Uh-oh. Scorpion strides over to her desk and proceeds to press a few keys on a fancy-looking keyboard that rests on it. In response, the fancy hologram displays a setting next to it comes to life. The model morphs into a miniature recreation of the research lab we raided on Wednesday. It's really exact too. Too exact to be recreated. This had to be footage from somewhere. Once it's in place, Scorpion gestures to the footage.
So, Stanley, here you are. You were faced with an A-list superhero all by yourself. What did you do?
I look at the display. She's definitely watching it before. It's not like I'm gonna be able to tell her anything she doesn't know. This has to be on purpose.
I assessed the situation and determined that the scenario did not possess the optimal conditions for victory.
So you surrendered?
Well, yeah, if you want to be blunt about it, but listen, it was more of a temporary...
Stanley, stop. You don't need to explain yourself. I completely understand your decision.
You do?
Of course. It's like you said. You studied the data you had available and realized that you had no chance of victory in the scenario. Luckily, victory was not your goal. Your goal was to stall Shining Nova for as long as possible. Given your position and your rather verbose personality, the best way for you to stall someone isn't always by fighting them. Sometimes it's by talking.
Yeah, well, Shining Nova didn't really seem too talkative.
Yes, the footage makes that quite clear, and your lack of grace certainly didn't help matters.
As I watched the replay of the exchange, I couldn't help but wince as I tripped over some debris and I myself sprawling. Not my finest moment.
However, your surrender clearly caused Shining Nova to hesitate. Had you a modicum of agility, it's possible that you could have taken advantage of that. And while Shining Nova is inconsistent in these situations, there are plenty of heroes that would be delayed significantly by... how to put it?
Witty banter?
Ceaseless drivel. Regardless, the data indicates that henchmen that can talk to superheroes, in addition to mindlessly attacking them, cause delays over 3 times greater than the mean.
So, does this mean I get a raise or something?
Let's not get carried away.
Yep.
How about a gold star? I've got just the spot for one on my uniform.
You mean the little stickers you give to children? Stanley, trivial rewards and pats on the head are how you train a dog, not a person. But if you need a little star to remind you of every good thing you've done, I could always carve you a more permanent one.
That's okay. I'll just give myself a mental high five or something.
Too bad. Some scars might look good on you.
Is she flirting with us? She's flirting with us. Like, I don't mind. But, oh god, if it was, again, going back to the whole D&D argument, if it was Alex Campbell in this situation, he would be panicking right about now. He would be looking for the fastest way to run out of this place. I love it.
But let's get back to Wednesday's operation. If you look at the footage right here, you'll notice something interesting about where you landed. What might that be?
Even though I know what she's talking about, I look at the footage anyway.
I'm pretty close to a door, and the engineers that we took captive aren't far either.
Correct. Though you didn't realize that second bit so quickly at the time. In fact, you don't notice until this moment right here.
She advances the footage until the hologram has me turn into the direction of the hostages.
And then what precisely did you do with this newly acquired knowledge?
I ran for the door.
And that seemed like the best option at the time?
It seemed like the only option, honestly.
Really? At no point, even after you noticed your proximity to those captives, did you consider a different approach? You didn't even for a moment think that perhaps you could use their presence to your advantage?
Ah, crap. I somehow don't think being honest was the right call here. Looking out for the safety of the hostages wasn't very villainous after all.
No, I didn't really think about that. I was kind of preoccupied by all the high-tech projectiles that could be fired at me. They were my most immediate concern, you know?
For being so focused on them, you did a rather poor job of getting out of their way.
Story of my life. My biography's gonna be called Stan. I couldn't get out of the way. Besides, it's like you said, fighting didn't seem like it was going to be very effective at this point.
But running away wasn't going to be any better. You needed to think of an alternative.
Like what? Nova didn't seem too receptive to small talk.
Like the hostages, Stanley. Why do you think I brought them up? Next time, take advantage of your surroundings. Hostages are a tool to be used, and an effective one. Understand this. You will be at a severe disadvantage against any foe you encounter. You must utilize every tool you can and show no mercy in order to succeed.
Use all the tools, hold the mercy. I'm on it, boss.
For the moment, Random Scorpion just stares at me as it takes my concentration not to break eye contact, but somehow I think she knows I'm full of shit regardless.
See that you are. It's for your own safety. We wouldn't want anything unfortunate happening to you out there, would we? And we certainly wouldn't want to demonstrate what happens to subordinates that fail to learn from their mistakes. Now then, I think we've seen enough of this, haven't we?
She finally turns off the hologram. Thank freaking God. But this is the first time I've watched myself get humiliated by a hero. And I have to say, I could live without the experience.
So, Stanley, after reviewing the footage, would you say this is a normal operation for you?
No, definitely more exciting.
And after our review, would you say that you performed better or worse than your peers in this scenario?
Well, better, but...
And how were you compensated for this operation compared to normal? How about compared to your peers? I'll answer for you. The same on both counts. But that's how it works, isn't it? You're paid a salary, and that doesn't change when things are harder or your performance is better. No, you can't earn more without a review, like this one, and they don't come often. But dear Stanley, what if I told you that you can?
You mean Hench can?
Exactly. I admit, I wasn't entirely sold on the name until we focus tested it with a few slogans. But it really works, doesn't it?
I guess so. Where are you going with this?
I'm getting to that, Stanley. But first, why don't we turn this discussion inward? What drives you, Stanley?
What do you mean?
I mean that as a henchman for Lord Bedlam, who or what do you serve before all else?
Miss Scorpion has already proven that she's not very much partial to bullshit, so I guess I might as well just be honest.
To tell the truth, I'm looking out for myself. Not that I won't do my job or anything, but at the end of the day, I've got to take care of things for me. That's just how it is.
I don't get an immediate response. Instead, Scorpion takes a moment to study me as if she's I think my headphones just broke. I'll fix it later.
Correct. Well said, Stanley.
I wasn't aware this was a question you could get right or wrong.
Of course it is. It's simply a matter of being honest with yourself. No matter what you had said, your actions would already have spoken for you. During your everyday tasks, you trend right inside the average by every available metric. You do not perform better or worse than any of your fellow henchmen. You are perfectly commonplace. But when you are personally at risk during operations, you are suddenly head and shoulders above the pack, despite having no powers or exceptional athletic background. In other words, Stanley, you are performing at the optimal level for your own self-interests. You have found exactly how to do your job and collect your paycheck with as little pain and effort as possible.
Yeah, I can't really deny it, but that's just how you treat a job, isn't it? You clock in, you do what you have to do, and you clock out.
I suppose many do. But this is something that extends well beyond one's occupation. Why should you try to perform any better when you have no incentive to do so? Should you throw yourself at superheroes based on the distant dream of a promotion? Of course not. No. You have learned that the optimal path forward within this system is to intentionally perform below your potential. So that's what you do. And make no mistake, you have potential, Stanley.
Madam Scorpion pauses to examine me once again. This time she leans closer. I try and fail not to flinch.
All you need to bring it out is a system that rewards you appropriately. And this, Stanley, is what I have been getting at. Henchman is that system. With Henchman, you would be rewarded based on the work you do. If you accept more gigs or more difficult ones, then you earn more. If you perform better on a gig, you earn more. It's simple. Take Wednesday's operation, for example. You would have been paid better than your peers for that, and certainly better than your supervisor.
She's uncomfortably close now. I can't lean further back without tipping my chair over, and for whatever reason, I can't bring myself to break eye contact. You ever looked over the edge of the cliff and just had this weird urge to jump? Though you know it would kill ya? Looking into Madame Scorpion's eyes is like looking down that cliff.
How would that make you feel?
Good, I guess. But, I work for Lord Bedlam.
And? He employs you, but should he own you? Your days could be his, and your nights.
She leans in closer and places her hand on my shoulder. I feel myself going rigid.
Could be mine.
You mean Henchcans, right? Your program?
Why, of course, Stanley. That's what we've been talking about this whole time. You're exactly the kind of candidate we need. You'd be just perfect for it.
Before my brain could reboot and offer a response, Scorpion removes her hands and turns back to her desk. Now I only... She let go, I realize how sore my shoulder feels.
And as it happens, I know of a gig tonight that would be an excellent trial run. You should sign up.
Um. Can't. It's game night.
Sorry. Tonight's not really a great time for me. I've got plans. Well, everyone does. Friday's game night around here.
Game night? You mean to tell me this whole organization shuts down to throw dice like a bunch of doddering grandmothers at a mahjong club?
No, not exactly. No one plays mahjong. Oh, wait, Squad 12 does. Most of us don't play mahjong.
Well, you have certainly filled me with confidence. What purpose does it serve?
For fun, it helps us all unwind. Lord Bedlam said something about team building too. I can't remember how it went. Besides, it happens after hours.
Stanley, one of the things you'll need to learn is that there are no after hours. There are simply hours, and you should strive to fill all of them productively. That is the only way to succeed in the modern world.
Right. Fill hours productively. Got it. I'll get right on that. After tonight.
After that, I don't want to let my party down by canceling SNS at the last minute. Besides, I've already invited Kate. Probably wouldn't be a great first impression for her if I did that. But then maybe I should be worried about the first impression of the woman who wouldn't hesitate to chop us up into little bits if I piss her off enough. Kate's nice, but I like my organs intact, thank you very much. Better take some time to think on this though.
Well, at least download the app and take a look. Perhaps then you might come to your senses. You'll find a QR code on the bulletin boards in the break rooms or at the entrance of the cafeteria. Tonight's gig should be immediately available to you. Take a few hours to collect some more information and think it over, but not too long. You'd hate to disappoint me.
I'm sure I would.
Oh, no, that wasn't a question. You'd really hate it from the bottom of your heart. I'd make certain of it. Then, dear Stanley, you'd see where I have my other meetings.
You mean the ones where people are in trouble?
Precisely. That is all, number 065. You are dismissed.
I
Right. Got it. Thanks.
By the time I stood from my chair, Madame Scorpion is behind her desk. Her attention turned to something else entirely. So I silently head for the door and step outside as quickly as I can, without seeming like I'm in a panic. Or that was my goal. I'm not sure if it worked. I think I somehow survived. It's not until I rounded the first corner I felt I let myself sigh in relief. Thank God that was over. I feel like I went through an emotional spin cycle. Still, I didn't do so bad as considering. I was being... Hey! We got an achievement. I was being interviewed by the possibly psychotic, tired-ish tech Mongol? Is that what dealing with Bonfire genuine Oracle supervillain is like? Do you spend every second wondering if you're gonna ever be escalated? I take my time heading back to my post for the day, and I only get about halfway there that I realize the craziest thing about that woman. Despite my fears of being dismembered, weirdly enough, she seemed like we were speaking casually towards the end there. I feel like that should mean something, but I'm not sure what. First shift passes quickly. Today my squad is working in the warehouse, which is like on the opposite of guard duty. Less likely to get bored out of my mind, but my body can't stand putting in actual effort. Luckily, I don't think Dave knows how to read our inventory system, so I just look to like I'm working hard, and the key is letting him see me lift a few things early and stay out of sight as much as possible. All that time and energy I put into avoiding work has given me an appetite. By the time we head to the cafeteria, I'm absolutely starved.
Shit.
Oh, what's wrong, buddy?
I forgot that Chef Antonio and I are at war. Metaphorically, I mean. Don't worry, it's not actual war.
Oh, good. I was about to say.
I know you were, Dave. Anyway, I think I'm just going to skip the line and get a table.
So, would that be a metaphorical retreat?
I prefer to think of it as guerrilla tactics. If he asks where I am, tell him I'm in medical.
Doing my best to avoid the all-seeing Chef Antonio, I find an empty table and have a seat. I drum my fingers on the table and try to think of anything but the food everyone else is eating. Sadly, my stomach has other plans and it let out a loud growl.
You filthy traitor.
That'll learn it. Show that organ who's boss.
I look up and see a kid sit across from me, tray in hand.
Damn right, you've got to keep them in line. Sometimes instead of doing cardio, I just berate my heart for an hour.
What do you mean sometimes? Wouldn't that imply that you do cardio in the first place?
For your information, routinely fleeing colorfully attired walls of muscle is a wonderful fitness routine. It's like Pilates for masochists.
I feel like you don't know what Pilates are.
All I know is that they usually involve a gym and yoga pants, and I can't see myself inside either of those things.
Technically, you're not wrong, and yet you're definitely not right.
Kate eyes the empty space in front of me.
Still haven't made peace with the chef, huh?
Nope, this is grade A eternal nemesis level conflict. We're destined to battle until the end of time.
Yeah, well, I don't think that treacherous stomach of yours can last that long. Seriously, just have some of my...
Well, gosh, Stan, you didn't tell me you made a new friend.
Before Kate has time to react, Dave has set a tray down at the table and extend a hand in greeting.
It's a real pleasure to meet you, miss. I'm Dave, squad supervisor.
Good to meet you.
Kate extends her hand, receives a firm shake. In turn, once Dave lets go, she points to the name tag still on her uniform.
I'm Kate.
She's the rookie I guided around yesterday. Just happens that we have the same lunch block, so... Wait, are you still wearing that name tag?
Yeah. Is that a problem?
No, it's just that I don't think you have to anymore. That was a one-day thing.
I guess not, but I'm still new, so it's easier for people to learn my name this way.
Yeah, she's just being considerate, Stan. Gosh, you millennials have no manners.
Dude, you're a millennial, and I'm pretty sure I'm older than you. Oh god, I'm older than you.
It's this social media. That's what my papa says. Everyone has to clap back or back clap or post little emojis of clapping.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna clap, do it to my face, you cowards. Am I right?
How dare you encourage this?
Encourage what? A blossoming friendship?
More like an unholy alliance. I think I was safer with Scorpion.
You met Madam Scorpion? When?
This morning, Stan had his big review. I made sure he was up extra early to prepare, though, so I'm sure he aced it. Right, buddy?
Let's not get carried away. I survived.
Well, don't sell yourself short, because that's not always the case. Believe me. So, now that you've seen her face to face, what do you think?
She's still a mystery. Or that I'm being murdered. I'm tempted to click that one. I'm gonna go with this one.
Honestly, she's a bit enigmatic, which is weird to say because she spoke pretty directly with me towards the end there. It's clear that she knows more than she lets on. Not just about me, but everything. Like she's always calculating something. I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, from what I've seen, that's not a bad way to put it. Pretty accurate, I'd say.
I don't think describing something as enigmatic can be too accurate by definition. Can it?
No, the other part. Calculating. What made you say that exactly?
I'm not sure. Have you ever seen that thing in a movie or show where someone is thinking really hard and all these equations start appearing by their head? It feels like that, except she seems like she's doing it without even trying.
She can make math equations appear by her head? That's not what I expected her power to be at all.
Yeah, that's it. Probably how she got away from Miss Dynamo. Just confused her with a bunch of math.
You know, that might actually work.
Right, good thinking, Stan. Maybe I should start carrying around a calculator.
I'm not sure that would have the same effect. But anyway, I was just curious. I got a similar feeling about Madam Scorpion myself.
For a few moments, Kate fidgets with her glove and stares off into space. Probably recalling her first meeting with the aforementioned supervillain. Man, is this how I looked when I talked about her? Even if I managed to avoid death or dismemberment, it looks like Madam Scorpion is going to leave behind a big old pile of emotional scarring.
Look, just be careful around her. I'm serious about what I said. Not everyone that walks into a room with Madam Scorpion walks back out.
Why do you say that?
Because it's the truth. At least I think. Look, this is just a rumor, but the word is that before she founded the Scorpion Group, she was basically the apex predator of the assassin world. That's how she got the money for it. She doesn't do it anymore, I don't think. I mean, that's the rumor, but you know what they say about old habits.
You can't teach them new tricks.
Sure, but mostly they just die hard. And for Scorpion, people die a lot more easily.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. My old habits die hard too. And sometimes I think I'm back on the farm. Today in the warehouse I called the crates hay bales by accident, and this other time I thought someone's pet parakeet was a chicken.
So what, you tried to take its eggs or something?
No, my sister collected the eggs. My job was to butcher the ones we ate.
That sounds pleasant. Hey, wait a second!
Oh my god, you didn't!
Well, it looks like we finally solved the mystery of what happened to Lord Birdlum.
It was an accident! It was just old habits, like you said!
I think that crosses the line from habit to disorder. Although, now that I think about it, that's a pretty good example for this situation. Thanks, Dave.
Oh, you're welcome, Kate. Just a little squad supervisor nugget of wisdom for you. I've got loads of them.
I bet you do. So, basically, Stan, be careful around Madam Scorpion, or you could end up like Lord Birdlam.
Delicious?
Dead, Stan. Very dead. But luckily, the most dangerous thing that you'll encounter tonight are some bad dice rolls, right?
True, though they'll be more dangerous for everyone else since... Wait, does this mean you're playing?
It may, if your party has room for a paladin. You said they needed a tank, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. Just a normal paladin, though? Anytime someone plays a paladin around here, they're usually a dark paladin instead. Because, you know.
Oh, right. I mean, of course it's a dark paladin. I just figured that was obvious. Wasn't that obvious?
Paladins? Dice rolls? What are you guys talking about? Wait. Oh, are you guys playing spells and swords tonight? Oh gosh, that sounds fun. Can I join?
I try to hide my wits. Ah, crap. I should have been more careful. I knew if he heard about it, that I had to invite him himself.
I don't see why not. There's not a limit on players. As long as it's okay with Stan, of course.
I glance at Cake, looking for teasing glint. I know I found it in her eyes, but also something engaging. Is she trying to nudge me into saying yes? She's right, of course. Technically, I should say no, but
Sure, Dave. You can join the party. What class are you going to be?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Is there a class that's kind of like a squad supervisor? That would work great!
How about a cleric? They're sort of like a supervisor.
So they make sure everyone is on time and focusing on their work?
No, I mean they help support everyone and keep them feeling good. Supervisors aren't supposed to do that?
Oh, Stan, it's okay. Being a squad supervisor is a complicated job. Not just anyone can understand how it works. But I don't really have a better idea, so I guess that'll work.
I shrug, sigh in resignation. Well, if he's gonna invite himself into the party, might as well be as a healer.
So, not to change topics or to kill anyone's enthusiasm, but I may have gotten ahead of myself about tonight's session.
What's wrong? Is a dark paladin not villainous enough? Do I need to be a demon paladin or something?
No, there's definitely enough villainy. It's just that something else happened in that review. The thing is, Madam Scorpion asked me to sign up for a Henchman gig. Tonight.
Wow, that's great, Stan! As your squad supervisor, I'm proud of the recognition you're getting for your hard work, and the recognition your squad and squad leadership will also get for helping you work so hard.
Sure. Thanks, man.
I look at Kate, not sure what the reaction I should be expecting. Disappointment, maybe? The reality of moving along the lines of penitent silence, or the hint of concern.
Did she say what the job was?
No. There's a few more details in the app. Here.
I pull out my phone, open Henchman app, and handed it to her. She wouldn't find much information there. Just a general description of the job, pay, time, various ratings on different parts of the job. Things like general difficulty, expectations regarding using lethal force, civilian presence, possible hero interventions, and given different rating out of 5 stars. No location given. Meeting coordinates sent though are separate in an encoded message shortly before the job, if you decide to accept. More information would be nice, but can't say I was expecting much more. Kate frowns as she scrolls through data and hands my phone back.
Seems like a good payday. Could be risky, though. This is an entry level from the looks of it.
That's the idea, I think. It's meant to be some kind of test.
That's a tough call. On the one hand, this is Madame Scorpion, and she's not used to being refused. On the other hand, if it's meant to be a test, then it will definitely be dangerous. Plus, you'd totally be missing out on our awesome Spells and Swords adventure. So, if I were you, I'd take some time to think about it. I won't blame you either way, but if you had to decide right now, which one would you pick?
Game night, duh.
Well, I do love my free time, and I can't say I love danger. So right now, I guess I'm leaning towards game night.
There's that Bedlam spirit, Stan! I knew you wouldn't abandon the squad.
Thanks, but don't go overboard, alright? It's an imaginary adventure played out with dice and stat sheets, Dave, not a battlefield.
No? I thought these games could get pretty intense.
Well, last campaign we did have a close call with a liter of soda and some handcrafted dice imported from Latvia. That was a tense moment, let me tell you. It was like our version of the Cuban Missile Crisis, but with less nuclear warheads and more corn syrup.
Sounds harrowing. I don't know, you might be safer on Madame Scorpion's wild mystery adventure.
That's true. I haven't decided anything for sure yet, so maybe I'd better think about this some more.
Okay. I'd be really glad if you could join us for game night. Is that what you wanted to hear?
Yes, but with just a dash of extra humility. Maybe a pinch of praise for my wisdom and empathy.
Yeah, well, I'm not a salad bar. You get the toppings that come with the gratitude, no substitutions, and you can forget any notion of begging. But really, it'll be nice to hang out. I'm looking forward to it.
Likewise. I'm still a little worried about Scorpion, though.
I would be too, honestly. So, while I'd definitely be disappointed, if you feel like you have to cancel to save your career or extremities, I get it.
Thanks, Rookie. Whatever I end up deciding, you guys will be the first to know.
And how are you going to let me know exactly? Carrier pigeon? Or do you guys send messenger rats through the walls around here?
Oh, right. We never exchanged numbers, did we? 1 second.
After fumbling with a few patches. It might be a good biography for him. Not entirely appointment, or maybe the whole Bedlam operation as a whole. Got the onto that one.
There we go. That'll be easier. Though, I admit, I was sort of looking forward to some kind of trained animal messenger.
Honestly, they might be more reliable. The reception in a secret mountain base isn't great. Big shock, I know.
The rest of lunch is filled with small talk, nothing groundbreaking, but oddly relaxing. Kate is better at redirecting Dave's enthusiasm, and he only mentions that he's a squad supervisor like 3 or 4 times. With Gray around, the dynamic of our swords and spells and swords session seems like it has potential, even with Dave unexpectedly last minute addition. This is if I decide to go with it. I will see where my head is in a few hours regarding regardless of my current feelings, Kate is right. This decision is that I need to be very careful. Mhm. As the day drags on into the late afternoon, I return to my room to change into spare uniform, freshen up. Neither the game nor the sidekick feels right venues for that sweat. Warehouse oh warehouse day aroma. Maybe I should invest in some cologne. Between the sweat and getting thrown into a dumpster, I found a lot of smells to cover up lately. As I finish bulking up my outfit, I grab my phone from where I left it on my bed. Frowning, I open Henchcam and navigate to the gig Madam Scorpion had mentioned it's there. This is it. I've given myself all day to think. What should I do? Online with some swords and shield at game night? Or take the Henchcan gig and go for extra money? I close the app and open my contacts. Extra money would be nice, but Miss Scorpion said herself. I've gotten this far by taking the right amount of risk. Maybe this Henchcan thing of hers is the future, but right now I'll check from Lord Bedlam whatever I take that risk or not. Besides, I told Kick I was leaning towards that game and I didn't really want to pull the rug out from underneath her. Inviting her to join the group says it's still, and backtracking at the last minute wouldn't be a good look. Not to Mitch and Dave's reaction. I'll be hearing about it for months. He may just found out about it, but anything that can be tied back to team building or squad unity becomes as sacred as Lord Bedlam's philosophy to him. As it is. Even if I reschedule this session, he would spend the whole time talking about how fun it would have been to do before. I could survive that, but I'm not sure if I want to. I open Kate's message page. And tell her that the game night is on. By the time I texted Dave, she's already applied. Who knew there were so many gifts involving confetti? I smile and send a celebrative gift of my own. We exchange a few more as I text the rest of the group and do my best to navigate Dave jumbling prediction freaks expresses of enthusiasm. Well, better get ready. Let's see if my SS bag should be somewhere in my closet. Issue 5, Spells and Super Villains. A short while later, I step out into the hallway, back in tow. While the halls are jam-packed, it's definitely more people than normal. All heading off to part in one game or another. The main hall will have most people playing cheap card games surrounded by a sea of plastic folding chairs. It's where we hold any tournaments or contests. It's also where Lord Bedlam is usually found. It's way too loud for... Oh. And that would be timer. But before I continue on, before I end the session, I'm gonna read this last part. It's way too loud for something like SNS, though. So our private little game room is definitely preferable. As I make my way through the hall, that leads in that direction, the crowd starts thinning out. Alright, and with that, that shall be our end for tonight. Like I said, I wanted to live stream / record this early, so everyone can more or less enjoy it over the weekend. This should be going up Sunday, maybe Monday, depending on when I get back. So for now, this is just a temporary. I mean, I guess I could place it on Thursday since I'm not really busy. Thought for later. Anyways, but until then, I'll see you, fellow minions and henchmen, as well as fellow villains, etc. I'll see y'all next time. Until then, take care.